My name's Matt Schmitt. I'm the Director of DOCSIS Specifications at Cable Labs. What that means, I'm responsible for a lot of our projects related to high-speed data over wired access networks. Most especially now, that's running or leading the DOCSIS 3.1 effort at Cable Labs and trying to coordinate the overall work. We'll have the specs coming out by the end of the month, which is right in the time frame we'd announced last year. We held a special session last year here at Expo to kind of unveil DOCSIS 3.1 and lay out what we were doing. And as a part of that, we said we plan to get these done, these specs substantially done, issued in public by the end of 2013. And the great news is we've actually managed to pull that off through a concerted joint effort of both engineers and architects at Cable Labs, contributions from our member companies, the cable operators, as well as from a very large team of engineers and architects from manufacturers across the industry. I think we have upwards of 60 or 80 people that have been actively contributing to the specifications, and it's through the work of that team that we've managed to pull this off in, I think, what's record time for a project of this magnitude. I actually haven't looked at the numbers myself. I've just been focused on trying to get it done, but from what I understand, this is about twice as fast as we've ever pulled something like this off, and it's been a huge effort. So we're designing an entirely new physical layer to work underneath the existing MAC layer that we've already defined within DOCSIS, but at the same time carrying forward the ability to interoperate with existing devices. So we have the existing physical layer, an entirely new one, and been working on getting all of that to work and come together. It's been a hugely successful effort. 3.1 is really about, I would say, if you want to boil it down, extending the life of the HFC network, making sure we get as much out of the investment that cable operators have already made in HFC and make sure they can continue to offer class-leading products and services into the future. Where DOCSIS 3.1 comes into that is in several areas. One of them is in improving the efficiency by which we can transport data across the network. So we can basically pack more bits into the same space as what we could do before, and even up to a 50% improvement in that sense in terms of what we can pack into the spectrum. But even beyond that, that's only going to take you so far. To get to truly orders of magnitude greater bandwidths and capacities than what we have today, you're also going to need to be able to operate over more spectrum. And so DOCSIS 3.1 also defines how do you expand to larger pieces of spectrum than what you can do today. And then finally, on top of that, none of that makes any sense if you can't do it cost effectively. And so another key component of what we've done with DOCSIS 3.1 is try to find a way to make it cost effective to go to these higher efficiencies and these higher bandwidths. Well, so ultimately that's up to the manufacturers in terms of what they're able to do. What we tried to do from the Cable Labs and the project perspective is to structure the specification development effort in such a way as to enable manufacturers to begin developing product as soon as possible. So whereas in the past they might have had to have waited until the specifications reached a certain point, we this time went out and we said, what are the key pieces of information you need to get your product development underway as soon as possible? And then we tried to structure our effort to answer those questions first, and then to fill in the additional details as we went along so that that could align with what they're doing product-wise. Now, based on what we heard or what we're hearing today, our expectation is you may see some prototype products, some stuff made for the lab as soon as sometime next year. And our hope is that this is stuff that can start making its way into the field in 2015 timeframe.